everyone, welcome back to the Meebits podcast. We're very excited to be here today with our latest partner, Colby Mugrabi from Merch. Just on the eve of our drop next week here during Permissionless and NFT Week. Colby, welcome to the Meebits podcast.
Thank you. So great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for stopping by. I know things are pretty busy right now as we're getting ready for our activation and drop. And I'm really excited to give the audience a little bit of a preview of what will be happening next week. But before we jump into that, a lot of people have seen merch, have heard of the brand, but maybe haven't had the time to really dig into your background, the brand's background. And so I want to start there. How about you tell us a little bit more about yourself? I know you had a previous life in fashion and online digital communications. Would love to just hear from you what you were doing before merch.
Yeah, so I have a background in fashion. My first love was fashion since I was a little girl. I grew up in Chicago. I used to set my alarm for not 8 a.m., for 6 a.m. before school to look at the runway shows. Starting when I was 8 years old, I was just fashion obsessed. My mom would come up in the morning to get me ready for school. She'd say, "Why are you awake?" I'm like, "It's Paris Fashion Week." Of course I'm awake. And then my interest, continued to get stronger and evolve. I started working at a young age. I was hired by Teen Vogue as their Teen Fashion Week correspondent. So I started writing for Teen Vogue as a freshman in high school. I started interning. I moved to New York to go to the Gallatin School at NYU, where I studied art history and fashion business. And when I graduated from Gallatin, I launched a website called Mini Muse. And it was really an extension of my studies and sort of the interdisciplinary nature that I approached to what I had studied at Gallatin, but applying it to original content. So Mini Muse was positioned as a digital digest. I posted every day that really focused on the intersection and the interrelationship between art, fashion, architecture, and design throughout history. So it was really an exciting exercise for me because I was able to take current day trends and analyze them through the context of history, or look at a contemporary runway collection and talk about historical architecture, or look at a contemporary painting and compare it to industrial design. And it was an incredible 5 years. I did it full time for 5 years, and is still a fascinating portfolio of my work and my interests, and something that I still reference a lot today. I was in a meeting earlier today and I pulled up an article from Mini Muse. But I realized that I would never really be able to scale this idea to the level that I had hoped, just given the niche nature of the content, how saturated online media was at the time and like is even more now. So in the spring of 2021, when the Beeple sale happened at Christie's, my husband is an art dealer. So he started getting inundated with calls about who's this artist Beeple, what's an NFT. And I'm such a research junkie that I started researching the space, Web3, the metaverse, NFTs. And I realized almost instantaneously that this is where the future of my brand should live. This is as if I'd started Mini Muse 20 years earlier at the beginning of the dot-com boom. So it took me about 6 months to refine my idea of what that meant and what that looked like. About 6 months later, I started learning about generative art, and I immediately thought, why has no one ever applied a generative design process towards physical product? And that was kind of the founding idea for merch, which I launched last April, which feels like 5 years ago, but was really 14 months ago. And merch, what I'm calling today, Merch 1.0, is a Web3 native generative fashion brand. So we had two successful drops, both sold out in 72 hours. One last April that was almost 1,000 one-of-one hoodies, launched using NFTs as a distribution mechanism. Each NFT is redeemable and backed by a one-of-one physical. Huge success, incredible proof of concept, so much excitement around the idea. We did a follow-up drop in the fall, which was in partnership with Swarovski, Seed Phrase, Claire Silver, also sold out, minted out. But I, sort of at that time, I realized that, um, you know, is there a future for this exact particular idea in the space, or do, like any startup, is it time for us to expand and iterate off this initial concept? So over the last kind of 6 to 8 months, we have been working on kind of reverse engineering our original product offering down to these kind of 5 or 6 core ingredients: art, fashion, technology, community, digital, physical, and rebuilding merch, both as a platform and also, a partner for projects in the space that we love and admire, and founders in the space that we love and admire. So that's how we got here, and I'm super excited to be working with you.
Oh, we're super excited too. And thanks for sharing so much detail. I think, again, a lot of people, the space comes in and out, and you guys live, to your point, right within a niche of Web3, which is that physical fashion kind of stuff. That's not really the broadest thing that people come here for. But I think it's one of the verticals that's probably going to take us furthest out into like broader distribution and adoption. So it's pretty cool to see what you guys have done with the previous drops. I have my original hoodie. It's boxed right now because I like it so much. I don't want it to be in the
I
closet during
love
the
that.
summer. But I got an all orange one, which I really love. Which, funny enough, I was wearing it to a meetup, I guess last April when it was still a little cold, and somebody stopped me on the street and they're like, "Do you know merch?" And I was like, "Oh my god! Like, what are the odds?"
Oh my gosh, I
He
love
was one
that.
of your friends. I forget their name, but anyways,
Of
yeah.
course, it was someone I knew.
But it's pretty cool, right? Because for us, everybody pitches, especially like PFPs or NFTs that represent the character. It's like, hey, it's a way to flex online. It's a way to represent yourself online, and everybody can recognize what kind of tribe or group you belong to. But you kind of flip the script on that, which is bringing that culture and that aesthetic, or with the generative processes, kind of like that way of creating things and putting in the real world. And taking it out there, people recognizing that you are wearing that brand and representing that. And I think for us at Meebits, it's really cool to be like, okay, let's find a partner that can help us bring the Meebits to life in that sense. And we'll get more into the drop here in a second. I did want to ask you. You mentioned merch 1.0, which to me it implies merch 2.0 is here. You posted a video about your digital, like your wallets on the clothes. I would love to hear from you what you guys are working on and how you're seeing this Merch 2.0 evolve.
Absolutely. So, I hinted at and mentioned that the last kind of 6 to 8 months since our second drop have been a moment of repositioning, reverse engineering, pivoting, developing. And I'm really excited about, where we've landed. One aspect that was always core to the product, but maybe not the central focus, is the chip technology. So every single merch garment, both from our Genesis drop as well as our follow up second drop, has an NFC chip, which is where wearers can access what we call your wearable wallet. And when you think about kind of resource allocation for merch from the founding through to the second drop, 95% of our energy was spent on creating one of one product at scale, and 5% was spent on developing this chip technology out. And kind of in our internal meetings back in the fall, we realized that this chip technology is incredibly exciting, incredibly engaging, industry agnostic, project agnostic, and something that we really want to focus on moving forward, or focus more of our resources and attention on. So, as I mentioned, the product is called the Wearable Wallet, and it allows and it facilitates engagement between, uses chip physical product to facilitate further engagement, deeper engagement between creator and fan. And that creator can be a sports team, it can be a NFT project, it can be a singer, it can be a DJ, it can be a chef. Anyone and everyone is a creator today. And the wearable wallet is really about, how do you gamify and how do you enhance the fan experience through chip product. And we facilitate that through an experience network. So, we launched our beta a few weeks ago, which service our existing merch holders who have hoodies like yourself. And our beta network is the merch network. We curate cool places to go, cool places to eat, our favorite coffee shop, our favorite restaurant, museum, gallery, and it all fits into this central merch narrative around digital culture, which is the culture that we love. And again, it's about, gamifying the active experience. So I put up a video the other day on social where I wore my merch hoodie to the Met. One of our featured experiences for this month is the new Costume Institute exhibition at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I stood there in the Met. I scanned my NFC chip on my hoodie. I checked in to the location all through the wearable wallet, which is a web app interface that we built entirely from scratch. I got a loot box filled with rewards. Like, it was the most thrilling, exciting, gamified, dopamine sort of enhancing experience. And that is the experience that people want to feel, and that they should feel through their products and through the brands and people that they love so much and that they're such fans of and advocates for. And being able to use this wearable wallet technology as, a white label solution to work with other partners. And what we've done together is a bit of both, because we've designed product together, which is looking amazing, that I can't wait to share with everyone. And it's also chipped, and it also connects to the network. So, there's different ways in this Merch 2.0 that I envision working with different partners, but, it can run the gamut from product that we design that's also chipped to a complete white label, you know, technology B2B solution where we license the wearable wallet technology to partners that potentially already have their own merch that they want to chip to enhance the fan experience.
Amazing. I cannot wait to incorporate a little bit of that into what we're doing with the Meebits, but also participate in all the experiences that I know you guys are curating for the near term and the medium term. I want to double click on something that you said, because it really resonated with me, the way we are thinking about Meebits in the future. You mentioned, sports teams. I think for us, the IP, a lot of projects are thinking more Disney, and we're thinking kind of like a combination of art and then fun utility, and sports IP, like being the Yankees of Web3 is something that's really appealing to us, because to your point, I want to represent that, team, tribe, whatever that might be. So being able to wear that and get, gamified experiences to go along with it, as well as potentially rewards, or just maybe like a record that I've been there, kind of like going back to the Foursquare days when we're all excited to check into places and see who had been there. It's just incredibly exciting that you're taking us in that direction. So yeah, I cannot wait. Um, One more question on Merch 2.0. You guys, obviously, we're going to talk about our collection, but you've done hoodies so far. How do you envision merch broadening out its product offering? Is it always going to be fashion items? Do you think other things, or within just the fashion clothing world? What's your plan or your goal here for the next few months to a year?
We're definitely not just entirely wed to fashion items. I do really love the narrative, though, around our merch, which is spelled MMERCH, and how it connects to the history of merch as a category, which, traditionally has been branded product, typically mass produced. So again, that's like a very noticeable shift from creating one of one product to, more higher units, higher volume pieces. So t-shirts, hats, still potentially hoodies, crew necks, maybe shorts. But what is really exciting to me is the opportunity that the technology provides and facilitates. So, and the added dimension that it adds to any product it's on, whether it be a garment, whether it be a keychain, whether it be a tote bag. So I'm not wed and married to any product category in particular. I'm excited to see where this idea takes us, and where, what types of products our potential partners want to create that they think will resonate with their respective communities.
Amazing. I love that. More like merch as a platform as well as a
Absolutely.
brand, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Now, should we move to the special part of the
Please.
episode where we get a preview, actually a full look at the Merch by Meebits collection dropping here this week in New York?
Yes. Yes. So I have everything here. I'm so excited. We got these samples in and everything's arriving this week, and it is to see these things in person and feel them and touch them, and it's the quality. That's one thing that, even though we're not strictly one of one anymore, we have not compromised our quality standards whatsoever. I think, something I was really proud of that we were able to achieve with our two drops that we did is, the highest quality standards. We did not compromise, and we're still applying those standards to higher volume product. So we have the snouts tea, which
Let's
we work.
go.
It's it. Wait until you feel this product. We did so many different fittings to perfect the fit of the t-shirt. We have a label, custom label inside, merch Meebits, and the cotton that we use. We work with a factory in Peru, and it's so. I didn't want it to be too thick, but I also didn't want it to be flimsy. It's so soft. It's so weighty in the perfect way. And then we have the NFC chip, the wearable wallet that you can tap and interact with, which is on the lower right, near the lower right hem. And one thing that you touched on that I did want to mention that's exciting and incredibly important to mention is the new merch experience network will go live the day of our event. So we are curating it with all, NFT NYC related events and happenings. And it's really for the NFT world that's ascending on New York to engage with and to interact with. So anyone that comes to our event and purchases a product and links, sets up their account through their email and links the product to activate the wearable wallet can participate in this network throughout however many days they're in New York City. So I'm super excited for that. So we have the snouts tea, and then
Drum
we
roll.
have these incredible hats that I'm so proud of, this square brim that we created. We wanted to navigate, so we did them in three colors. We have the gray, we have this great red, and then we have a purple. And I'll show you on the gray one, the back has the Meebits logo embroidery. It also has our merch logo embroidery, and you'll notice this was the same logo that's on the chip on the t-shirt. So this is meant to represent where you scan. So there's an NFC chip behind this logo to activate the wearable wallet. Also inside there is a little label that says scan me label. And then it's all embroidery on the front, this really beautiful raised embroidery. And then we did, these are like the small details that just get me so excited. We had a sort of slightly enlarged button made for the top of the cap because we wanted to, it's a very fine line to navigate making something wearable, but also pulling in and capturing all the details that make it super Meebits. And I'm really proud how we did it with this product. And you can see it through the enlarged button. You can see it through this custom square brim. And yeah, these are just, they're great hats. They're great hats. And then, yeah, we offer them in these three colors. We have the gray, and then these two colors are slightly more limited edition, the purple and the red. So all three of these will be available at our event on the 25th. And then if there's any product available after, they will be available in our web shop that we're launching the next day.
I'm so excited because when from our first conversation, I think our goal with Meebits is obviously honor the legacy of Matt and John and all the artistry that they put into the collection, and to bring those traits to life. To think that these are traits that are it's not NFT merch where you take a blank and you print the logo on it. These are really items of clothing that were created by the geniuses of Matt and John, and then working with you to bring them to life in like the most realistic way with the square brims and the big buttons and everything like that. It's just something that gets me really excited because that's we want Meebits to be people's twins both digitally and physically. So this is just incredible, and yeah, appreciate all the work that you and your team did over the last few months to get these products ready to go for the drop.
We've had such an incredible collaboration. I think the two teams coming together have been, it's like 1 + 1 = 3 in that respect. I think we've really loved working with you and your incredible team. And I think our brainstorm sessions, there's been so many exciting ideas that have stemmed from those and so many incredible creative assets. And to your point around kind of the history of Meebits. I'm all about storytelling, and so I really love the idea of these characters having been inspired by New York streetwear and gone from IRL to digital, bringing it back to IRL through physical product, and that was really a sort of center stone to our event and to planning the event. It's all about bringing the streets of New York inside, celebrating, icons of New York City, obviously icons of the Web3 space, and it's come together beautifully. So I'm excited by the response that we've gotten so far. So many incredible RSVPs, and I can't wait to see what people think IRL.
Same. I mean, I'm on the list for, getting the notification for every RSVP, and I just had to mute that thread because it's
I
literally over 400 so far, which is awesome. And I'm really loving the reception that the collaboration's getting. Obviously, people know the quality of your work, and we're finding more and more people, falling in love with Meebits and really taking the time to understand the depth of the traits and all of the incredible details that Matt and John put into the collection. So we're super excited for this. And yeah, if you're watching this after the event or you couldn't make it to New York, we'll take a lot of pics. Hopefully, you guys have seen them online. And this is the kind of stuff that we want to continue to deliver for the Meebits community. And I know you want to do that for the merch community as well. Do we want to talk about that very special 101 today, or do we want to
oh
leave it, or do we want to leave it to
yes.
the future?
Yes. So, I really see this collaboration as being so important to me personally and so important to merch for many different reasons. But one of the, kind of central ones is it really serves as kind of this pivotal moment between the merch that everyone knows of, that's, one of one generative fashion, and then the merch of the future that's really leaning into a more tech focused platform play, higher volume, still high quality product. And but we had to keep something in the collection that hinted to the merch 1.0. So I worked with this incredible milliner in LA, and a milliner obviously is, someone who produces very high quality hats, because I wanted there to be something one of one in this collection. So, I mentioned before, I was talking about before how we really navigated very successfully how to bring the Meebits aesthetic into a wearable cap, and something that was, commercial, but also hinted at the kind of geometric shapes of Meebits. But I did also want to make a product that was, I still consider it wearable. Maybe others wouldn't consider it as wearable, but something that really celebrated the iconic style and silhouettes of Meebits. So I worked with an incredible milliner in LA to make this one of one cap that is honestly so cool. Like, I can't even, we're going to have it at the event. It is, they had to build a special block for the hat in order to achieve this shape. It's all done from scratch. It's made out of super high quality felt. Again, we have, I love these little buttons at the top. It's a square button here. It's hard to see because it's black on black. We also captured the little indents in the brim, which is something that we had tested and we had sampled with the more commercial cap, but it wasn't achievable at scale. So that's another feature that's really unique, obviously, to this one of one cap. We have the great sort of artwork on the front, logo on the front feature, and yeah, it's just all square. I mean, it is so cool, and it's not only, it's a sculpture. Really, I see it as a sculpture. I see it as a wearable sculpture, and I hope it finds an amazing home within the Meebits community, because this is this is like a treasure. This is a collectible to the extreme. And one thing I did want to say is what an incredible job you've done at, and in such a short amount of time so far. Like I can't wait to see everything else you guys do. I'm sure it's, will be incredible, but you've done such an amazing job handling and like shepherding the project and the IP and being respectful of it. And I'm just so honored that you would bring us in to help realize physical embodiments of this collection.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. It's really a team effort. I'm just the pretty face, but it's the guys behind the scenes that are doing the work. I just hear on the podcast and I smile. But thank you. I appreciate it. And obviously love what we've built together for this drop. And that hat, I mean, wow,
It's so cool. I'm like,
it's the kind of stuff I want somebody wearing at the Met Gala next year.
I know. Well, yeah, let's see. I hope someone can get it, and then who knows? It would be, it's a showstopper. That's for sure. It's a showstopper. It would
It's
also look
amazing.
great with a tux. With this black and white, I could picture it with a
That would
tuxedo.
look amazing with tux. I only
Yeah.
have a blue tux. Maybe I should get a black one and get it. But
Yeah.
we'll leave that
Right?
for another day.
Yes.
Um, just incredible. I hope that people that are watching are excited to see the products in real life because definitely put a lot of love and dedication into them, the highest quality possible. I think they're going to be very affordable too for the level of quality, especially compared to Web3 pricing. I'm really excited that we were able to achieve all of that, just not just for Meebit collectors, but what we call the Meebit community, which is collectors plus, right? People who like the Meebits, might not have a Meebits, but vibe with what we're doing, are excited for the future of Web3, for the future of Ethereum, and so they're part of the Meebits community as well. And hopefully we're able to do a couple more things down the line because it's been an awesome process and I cannot wait to see even more media trades IRL powered by merch.
I would love that. It's been such a pleasure working with you and your amazing team. I'm so excited for everyone to experience everything at our event on Wednesday, the 25th, to experience the product, to experience the Experience Network, the wearable wallet, hopefully engage in the network throughout the few days of NFT NYC. There's tons of exciting stuff in there, lots of fun rewards, digital assets. Just we're gamifying the world of product. So yeah, hopefully this is hopefully the first of many merch Meebits collabs, and just thank you so much again.
Oh, thank you. For the audience, get there early on Wednesday because we have limited supply. We have a lot of RSVPs, not trying to create FOMO, just if you really want the piece or you want to experience what we've built for the activation, we'd love to see you there earlier. And then we're actually giving out a Meebit to a buyer of the product. So definitely make sure that if you want to participate in that, obviously you got to get there to buy some of the stuff. So it's a lot of different gamification and it's just more to make it fun. We want people to really have fun, have a great time. A lot of people coming from out of state. We're both transplants into New York, but we've spent most of our life here now. So we're like hosting people into our home. Obviously, maybe it's inspired by New York. They're little New Yorkers in my mind. So I just really want to show everybody what the core of like a New York City experience is. And yeah, I
Absolutely.
can't wait for people to see it.
I can't wait too. And that's a great point. The Meebits raffle is so exciting. We have a lot of information on it at the event. Every product someone buys and links to an account counts as a raffle entry, as well as every event, every location they check into throughout the 10 days, 7 days the network is open for this specific raffle. So there's lots of opportunities for people to get lots of different raffle entries, and we're so grateful for your generosity and excited to raffle off that Meebit.
Awesome. Awesome. Cannot wait.
Thank
Colby, this has
you.
been super exciting. If I was already kind of just like so like looking forward to the event, now I can't really wait after this conversation.
I'm
It's been a
so
really exciting conversation. Thank you so much for coming to share not just about the Meebits and merch drop, but really your story, merch story, and what you guys are building for the future of not just Web3, but the intersection of fashion and digital. And yeah, it's awesome to see it. I cannot wait what else is down the pipeline for you guys. So thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to see you and hopefully everyone else IRL on Wednesday. And yeah, can't wait for people to see these products.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you at the event, guys. Be there or be square. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks.